Hello, welcome back. I'm Akavi, this is Oracle, and we are aboard the SV Aether. This is going to be our second video to go up on YouTube, but I'm going to take time this time to kind of introduce the boat and us a little bit, to kind of tell you where we are at. So this is Aether. When we bought Aether, its name was Hiatus, and it had been on the hard for 10 years in Texas. When we got her, we fell in love with her almost instantly, and it was not a case of first boat buy situation. We basically searched around for boats for a year and a half. We looked at boats all over the country, and in the end, when Oracle got onto this boat, she just knew. I was looking for a layout where it felt like a home, but without being a houseboat, and that's what I saw when I came here. When I saw her, it was a work in progress. A work in progress is an understatement. So to give you the nutshell story, which you will hear over the course of our videos eventually in full, of what happened, we got the boat. The owner is carrying the note, marine mortgage, and we went to bring it back up to Seattle and ran into just the first wave of problems. There are a lot of people who would have quit on this boat at any step of the way. Transporting it, we went to get it out of the marina, and they didn't have a travel lift. They couldn't get a travel lift, and they basically said, well, use a crane company, and you can have the crane parked right here, and they can lift it over the fence. So we got a crane company, way more expensive than a travel lift, to put it on the truck. And the crane went right where he told it to, and it crushed a pipe that his neighbor had. Just recently installed, so they locked the crane in and charged us to fix the damage to their pipes before they would let the crane out. By the way, this boatyard was janky as fuck. The boatyard was really janky, and so what was supposed to be a $5,500 trucking up here turned into a $10,700. We saved up a lot of money, and like a lot of people do, we bought the boat. We brought it here, and then we started restoration. It was not as pretty as it is. It's just like a giant jigsaw puzzle of, where does this go? On top of I don't know, we have no one to contact, no reference pictures, nothing. On top of being a giant jigsaw puzzle, there was rot. All up here through the cabin, about the 2/3 of this cabin and partially down there. And all of the windows were rotted out, and when they discovered it, we just had them chase it back and redid all of it, so it's all fiberglass with new fiberglass board underneath. But it was a lot of work, and a whole bunch of money later, way more than we should have spent on this boat. We could have bought a house in Middle America. We could have bought a nice house in Middle America. I could have bought a ready-to-sail turnkey boat. But this was the boat, and this was the journey that I needed in my life. This was what we needed. We're very proud of this boat where it is now. She's gorgeous. She's the gem of the marina. This is our home, or this is our home that we've been focusing on for the last 5 years. We were searching for 2 years prior to that, so 7 years of culmination has finally come to us being able to be on it. Now we're not nearly done. We're finally able to be in it. Did a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. We rebuilt we were finishing the door, found out it was rotted, had to get a new one remade. We redid all this wood. The plumbing, the electrical. So one thing I can say is that more than anything, my boat, I know, is absolutely shipshape. It's got brand new electrical, brand new plumbing, brand new water, brand new fuel, brand new engine, brand new everything from stem to freaking stern. Like we said though, like I said, that there's still stuff to do. Like we don't have any electronics. We have no electronics. We don't even have a radio. And apparently that's not technically required. I was shocked to find that out, but there's this old radio. Don't know if it works. Got an old beat up VHF right there. Probably get a new one. I don't know if it works. No autopilot or depth sounder, navigation equipment at all. No freaking solar panels or anything. We don't have solar panels yet or anything like that, or a wind generator, but those are all amenities. The house is perfect. We've come up with an idea for the mattress problem. Purple, the new company that's coming out recently that's kind of like getting a lot of ground, is just a foam mattress that's got this kind of cardboardy version to it. Not cardboardy, egg cratey version of it. Polymer plastics. That we're just gonna get that and then we're gonna cut it out. So one of the main reasons we came down here today was we had some leaks. Crazy leak. It was leaking from all the chain plate. Apparently the situation was they sealed
the chain plates, and then when they put the rigging on, it, you know, adjusted them, and
They did it inside a warmed warehouse, and then brought it outside in the cold, put the rigging up, and tensioned the rigging, and it broke the seals. Now that they're under tension, they've resealed them and rebedded them, and they should be good.
The boat came with a brand new ram arm that was bought, but for some reason, it only turned left.
I'm not an ambiturner. It's a problem I had since I was a baby. I can't turn left.
Derek, that's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who can't turn...
It's not an ambiturner.
So right now we have no internal steering. We have to buy a new ram arm, one that turns both ways.
I mean, there have got to be some people out there just like you who can't turn left.
Hello, and look at this beautiful weather out here. It's actually freaking raining, and I love it. I'm out on my boat, out on Aether in the Sound, and feeling absolutely marvelous. So just kind of wanted to walk you across her bow in a lovely rain. So I'm going to flip the camera and take you on up across the ship. So as you can see, the old teak decks were, like we said, redone with fiberglass throughout. There used to be teak panels all through there, and down here on the floor in patches. Look up Hans Christian 38 and 39 Pilot House respectively, and you can kind of find out what that used to look like. So we pulled all of these hatches and we resealed all of the hatches, and we resealed all of the port lights, and under the mast there we actually had our own coin put there. We pulled the older silver dollar out and we put a coin given to us by Alex and Alison Gray when they married us at the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors up in New York. Then here we have our gorgeous bowsprit. Those boards were the first thing I ever sanded. So when I got these, I went stupid hog wild, and I teak oiled it with up to 1,000 grit sandpaper, wet sanding, starting at 80 and then working up to 1,000 grit sandpaper, and that basically turned them into slippery death machines. Down here we have our all of our lovely wood. We did all these cap rails ourselves, redid them. Everything was recocked. We rebuilt all of these, redid those. Those were completely dead. The rigging was not at all figured out. So when we got the boat, deck fittings and the chain plates were all completely undone, and the rigging was just a pile of line, and we had no track back here for our mainsail track, and they had to cut one out of another boat's track that they had left over here and make a track for our boom here so that we can swing it around. This was completely grey and toast. Winches were frozen. Every single one of them had to be opened and have all of its bearings pulled out, cleaned, rolled, greased, and put back inside. This door is a remake of the original, and the original rotted out. Stove was originally propane. We went to diesel because diesel is everywhere in the world, and the diesel stove has one major flaw. This is the big flaw. Yep, that's the rinky-dinky stove of 9 by 9 by 12. It's freaking tiny. But that's the concessions you make on a boat.
So last night I went and got a few things for the boat that are necessary, like dishware and stuff. And to cut down on things like trash, and this is just a habit I'm gonna have to get into, is taking all the packaging off before I get here so that I don't have to deal with taking out a bunch of trash.
I am serving up our first meal cooked on our stove, on our boat, in our home. I'm loving it. We're aboard our home. There's not much here, but she's done a lot. You'll get to see when she goes back on a tour through. She's put up some blankets and some tapestries and kind of made it feel a little more homey. It's starting to feel a little bit like our place. I really want to get started on the penny mosaic. I've already got images in my mind for kind of what I want to do there. I think we might use Canadian pennies because
Canada's awesome.
Canada is awesome, and it's a 100th of a loon. So you get enough of them and you've gone loony. You get 200 of them, you've gone toony. They've got great names for their money, so cheers.